Awesome. Hey, Coach. Thanks for being here. If you could start off with a couple comments about the game.
Yeah, fourth game of our road trip. Thought we, pulled away in that fourth. Some good things happened. Overall, high assist, low turnovers. Kept McCowan off her double average. Obviously, Mitchell is a tough matchup, but overall, just pleased with our effort and glad to have had a team effort in order to kind of persevere through this and get this win.
Awesome. Thanks. Our first question here is from Percy Allen. Go ahead, Percy.
Awesome. Hey, Coach, it's a 9-point game, 64-55 early in the fourth when you sub in. Let's say it was Stewie and Jordan, and I think Sadie's was in that group. And then you guys go off on a 17-2 run and pretty much put the game away after Sue's 2 big threes there. Just if you could talk about that spurt there and just what happened during that time.
Yeah, I think we're playing out of our defense in order to generate, those open looks that we got. The game kind of felt like we were kind of not dragging along, but we couldn't really open it up until that point. And I think that point was just a lot of energy, knocking down open shots, moving the ball, getting McCowan in some motion. But I think it started on the defensive end, just finishing off plays. We were rotating and rebounding and pushing it.
Hey, and then just sort of overall, maybe sort of the big picture perspective wise, just on your sort of the big three. I mean, so you've played in this league a lot, and there's been some incredible big threes from what was going on in Houston and even in Phoenix, had one. But just in terms of and even the Storm way back in the day. But just this big three here, just what is it that makes them so dynamic?
I mean, you have arguably one of the best at each position that is very impactful on a basketball floor. So I'm a point guard, the best, one of the best, in my opinion, in the world. And Sue, an amazing offensive firepower with Jewel on the wing and just a very versatile player in Stewart, a big that can shoot, that can get to the rim and do a lot of things on the floor. And with that combination, you have pieces around that complement those great attributes. And I think what you see is a three that have been through the trenches with one another. They went from a rebuild situation to winning a championship to now being contenders again. And I think just what they've cooked up, what they've been a part of with each other, the culmination of that, the growth in that, and now you're seeing the maturation of that. And you've named some amazing big threes, and I think this is one that needs to go on the list as well. Just three amazing players at their positions.
Awesome, Coach. Thank you. Appreciate it.
Thanks, Coach. Next one here from Jeff Brown. Go ahead, Jeff.
Hey, Coach, I wanted to talk about another run by you guys in the third quarter. It's 46-42. Stewie has the opportunity to shoot a three, but drives to the lane for a finger roll. And then after that, Jewel gets the and one and then 2 more free throws. And then Talbot finishes it off with the fast break layup. You guys go up, you're up 4, you go up 13. Just talk about how important it is to not just settle for those 3-pointers, but also attack the rim and score in the paint.
Right. And then at that point, we hadn't shot a lot of 3-pointers as well. And I think for us, just understanding the threes are going to be there, but not living and dying by that when we're kind of taking possessions and not hitting those shots. Passing up, obviously we talk about this, passing up good shots to get great shots. And I think, we needed to be a little bit more aggressive and put pressure on the rim, get to the rim. And, my sentiment was don't worry about the foul calls as much as going through bodies and finishing plays. Those guys executed in that manner. But, we have the ability to open games up by hitting at the 3-point line. But when those shots aren't falling, we also have the ability to attack And I think we have to continue to find a balance of that. And I think that's what those possessions were.
Definitely. And then right in line with that, we saw Talbot get some get positioning in the low post against an undersized guard. And we've seen Katie Lou do that a couple times in recent games. Like, how important is it for them? Because of their size at 6'2", 6'3", they can, how important is it to develop that part of their games?
It's huge. We have a big team, honestly, and to be able to utilize that part of their game. Guard post-ups is a part of the game that I love as a big guard as well. To get the opportunity to, post up smaller players and just see a couple go through, see a couple of easy ones, and then, be able to hit your your jumpers and your threes. I think that's one thing that's a strength of this team right now, to have the players that we have in those positions to have that size. We use that to our advantage. And so getting those post-ups are going to be key for us, for sure.
And then last one from me, out of everything, what kind of impressed you the most from the win today?
Yeah, just staying even keeled and staying the course, wanting to make sure we jump out ahead and maybe thinking that, we need to get this big lead early, but we didn't quite do that. What we did was stay the course of the game and eventually got that lead by just continuing to play hard, continuing to play together, staying focused, staying locked in on our matchups. And that's impressive to me that, we've been in a number of games already this year where we've been in close games, we've been in overtime games, we've been in some big games, and been on the tail end of a big margin of a loss and a close loss. And so all the different experiences that we've been through early on, I think it's really helping us get through these games of just finding ways to win. And it may look different every night, but at the end of the day, we put our best foot forward and we come out victorious. Then we can hold our heads high. And, even within our losses have been lessons, and just continue to learn with each other, grow with each other, and get better every day.
Thank you, Coach. Great win.
Thank you.
Thanks, Coach. Last one here from Virginia Lopez.
Hi, Coach. I wanted to ask you, the team, you talked a little bit about this already, where the team is learning and improving. But are there areas or an area of improvement that you're really trying to focus on right now, that you're hoping your team is going to just continue to go no matter who you play?
Yes, I think the biggest has been the rebounding. We've played teams who have been monsters on the offensive boards and just in general, very good rebounding teams. And that's one of the things that we can continue to get better at, is just finishing out plays, making sure that we're putting bodies on our opponents, and gang rebounding. It's going to take everybody to get a couple more rebounds every game. And I think we've really locked in on that today. Again, another game where we out rebound our opponent just by being locked in on that. I think, obviously continuing to grow within our defense. I know early on, our defense, we were trying to learn each other, but now I think our defense has really taken big strides in what we're doing. And so, obviously we talk about offense and all firepower that we have, but if we can put those two things together, we will continue to do very good things.
Great. Thank you, Coach, and congratulations.
Thank you.
Thanks, Coach.
Thank you.
Well, hey, Stewie, thanks for being here. We have sorry.
Nope.
Question here first from Percy Allen. Go ahead, Percy.
I'm sorry about that. Hey, Stewie, I'm like curious about, there was a stretch in the fourth quarter where you guys were up by 9. You were on the bench, but then you came back in and you guys went on a 17-2 run. Obviously, that to me just seemed like a pivotal moment in the game. Just from your sort of vantage point, what happened there?
Yeah, so we were up by 9. There was a timeout. I subbed in, the rest of us subbed in, and I think we could just feel we were about to kind of go on a run. We'd been waiting for it to happen really all game and just continue to do our thing. And we were able to break through in the fourth quarter by continuing to do what we've done all game.
And then I'm curious about the big three that you've kind of formed here with Sue and like Jewel here. I mean, there's going to be a lot of conversation around you guys as it comes to the All-Star push, as it comes to the Olympics. But just in sort of your mind, like you've been playing with these two now for some time, what is it that make your dynamic work so well? It seems like you've got everything that you need there: a playmaker and then 2 terrific scorers.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's just the fact that we play so well together. We have the utmost respect for one another. Obviously, Jewel and I for what Sue's done before we were even in the WNBA, and then now being her teammate. And then for Jewel and I just continuing to grow and progress together. You know, we came into the league a year apart, but basically we've been going on this journey together. And to have those two alongside me makes everything easier, makes everything better, makes everything more fun.
There you go, Stewie. Thank you. Appreciate it.
Thanks, Stewie. Next question here from Jeff Brown. Go ahead, Jeff.
Hey, Stewie, you guys had defensive rating in the month of May. I think you were 8th or 7th in the league, but now in the month of June, you're up to number 1. What have been the key changes that you've made to make that adjustment and improve so much?
Klopp is probably super happy about that. I think we just continue to kind of hone in to figure out exactly what's our baseline, what's our first scheme when we play teams, and then how can we continue to develop and progress to play people defensively and cater it to what they don't like. And then at the same time, obviously playing together. You know, in May we gave up a lot of points, but now we're continuing in June, and you know, you just see that we're continuing to be better in all areas. And I think that's really what we want. We're not complacent with where we're at. With however many wins we have, we want to just continue to build, be better, because we know that, you know, this is the long game.
Definitely. And then I thought one of the keys to this victory was you guys are up 4 points, 46-42. You have an opportunity to take a 3, but you drive to the lane, get the finger roll. And then after that, Jewel gets an and 1 layup, and then 2 more free throws. And then Talbot gets a fast break layup. And you basically go from up 4 to up 13. I guess just talk about the importance of not always settling for those 3-pointers and attacking the rim.
Yeah, it's just having a combination of both. I felt today I had a lot of open shots that I didn't connect on, but knowing where we are in the game, knowing what we needed, and continuing to put pressure on the rim to show them that we're not only going to settle for jump shots, but we're going to drive to the basket as well and try and get this free throw line.
And then last one for me, just talk about Kelsey Mitchell's performance for them. She had the 26 points game high and just what she was doing out there.
Yeah, I mean, anytime we have to play against Kelsey, she's tough. She's a great guard. She's a scorer. She has a scorer's mentality. We just try to make it hard for her every time.
Thank you, Stewie.
Thanks, Stewie. Last one here from Christos Saltis, and then you'll be good to go.
Hello, Stewie. Great game, first of all. Congratulations. Mike, I would like to ask you, you have 6 games on the road, 6 wins. How would you explain that? And is it sign of growth of your team the 6 wins on the road?
I mean, last year we played in the bubble, so I think fortunate to be able to play games home and away, but also, like you said, we have a mature team. We know what our job is. We started this road trip coming off of a loss at home, so I wanted to make sure we kind of set the tone of what we were trying to do. And with a lot of these games where we play 2 teams in a row, they're both important games. So we make sure that we lock in, and we enjoy our time here and stay in the moment while we're on the road, and obviously know that we want to get back to Seattle once we take care of business.
And a quick follow-up is about you. Another great performance, another double-double this season. Do you have the mindset each and every time that you step on the floor that you are the best player and nobody can stop you? Is it that your mindset on the court?
Yeah, I think when I come on the court, I have the mindset of just being dominant. It's something that one of the UConn coaches, Shea Ralph, who's now at Vanderbilt, talked to me about, having that thought before the game, and it continues to now. But just continue to do multiple things, be active. It's not all about points, but doing the stuff that's the hard things, basically getting rebounds, helping the team get involved, and making sure my presence is known on the court.
Thank you very much.
Thanks so much, Stewie. Love Stewie in here next.
Here we go.
We're set.
Hey Sue, thanks for being here.
Hi.
Start off here with a question from Percy Allen. Go ahead, Percy.
Awesome. Hey, Spoobird, I just want to ask you maybe historical sort of perspective type of question here, just in terms of like the big threes that you've seen and played with and are a part of now. What you and Jewel and Stewie have got going just in terms of scoring, if you guys maintain this, would be like the second best all-time scoring of like trios in like league history. You've seen some big threes in your day. You've been a part of some big threes in your day. What's the dynamic between you three here?
I mean, I think it's a unique big three, because I think you have 2 players in Stewie and Jewel who are exceptional, who are in, not even, you could argue not even in their prime yet, which is scary. So they kind of have, grown up since entering the WNBA till now. But also arguably the best at their positions currently. And that's being teamed up with someone, myself, who I was able to be with them in these like formative years, right? I was able to work with them and get to know them on the court and develop chemistry with them starting, their rookie seasons till now. And for me, I'm obviously a point guard that, loves to get players involved, loves to help people be successful, loves to put them in successful positions. And when you have 2 players of their caliber, it makes my job super easy. But again, to kind of circle back, I think we've, in a way, they've grown up the last couple of years, and I've, with them, alongside of them, have been able to watch that growth and learn from it and see how I can kind of fit in with it. So in some ways, I can be a little bit of a maestro in that. I'm scared to see that in print when you use it, but that's kind of what it is. And then, obviously my story is that I'm trying to stay as healthy as possible so I can still play at a high level. And so along with them, if I'm open, I have to knock down shots to keep people honest. So I think there's just like something unique about having an older player like myself with all this experience teamed up with these 2 players who you knew were going to be great from day one, and now are really starting to show signs of that greatness. I mean, they've already have been, but now it's at another level.
And then along those same lines, can you compare and contrast it when you were with Lauren and Swin, or even when you were with, I think your other one was, sort of with Swin and Lauren there, yeah.
Yeah. Well, we were all the same age, you know,
Yeah.
and so we were kind of growing up together, I think, in that way. I mean, granted, when Swin was on the team, all three of us were in our prime at the same time. So that's a little different. Obviously, I'm arguably on the other side of the prime. I'm hanging in there, but definitely on the other side. And so I think that's what makes that big three unique. The three of us were really in our prime.
Awesome, Stewart. Thank you.
Thanks, Sue. Next question here from Jeff Brown. Go ahead, Jeff.
Hey, Sue, Dick Fain mentioned on the broadcast that you lead the WNBA in field goal percentage for guards. And just wondering, is anything feeling different for you out there, or what do you credit that to specifically?
You know, in some weird ways, you know, I don't, you know, if you think of years past, my role has had to be to look to score more, to be more aggressive. I think still now I try to be at times, but I don't have to take bad shots. You know, we have so much offensive power. We move the ball so well. Nobody really ever has to take bad shots. So I think it just lends to more efficiency. But I really think it's about our offense. You know, and I've been asked this before when it, you know, as it pertains to assists, like, oh, you know, in some of the last couple of years where my numbers have been high, oh, how, you know, what do you credit to that? I really, you know, the credit goes to just how our offense works.
And then you guys, like, I felt like you passed up some easier shots and passed out to the 3-point line for more contested ones. And then Stewie kind of changed that. And you did it once, and Katie Lou did it. But Stewie then
I wouldn't say that. If threes are daggers, man, those go in. And when they did later, you saw what happened.
Anyway, so basically Stewie then had an open three, but she decided to drive it in, gets the finger roll. Jewel gets some points in the paint, an and one and everything. Just talk about the importance of not always settling for the three and still continuing to attack the basket.
I don't think we settled for threes. I think all of the threes that we took that we didn't make were makeable, were wide open. You know, when you move the ball and you get good looks for people that are shooting the ball well, I will live with that every time. Because you see what happens when they do go in, you know, and eventually they will. But to your point, I guess, you know, we're not just a 3-point shooting team. And I think we do have people that at times can take it to the basket. And you saw that as well. You know, when they went small at the 4, we of course saw that and tried to get the ball inside. So that's like the beauty of our offense. There's so many different ways that we can hurt you. And we just try to take what's given.
And the last one for me, what just stands out to you in this game is like what you're most proud of or impressed by the team by?
I think a solid performance after being on the road for a while. You know, we still have one more on the road before we get to go home, but you know, obviously Indiana, based on their record, you know, they're looking for a win, they're searching for a win, and sometimes in these games, when you come into somebody's home gym, you can relax. And I thought, you know, Indiana, they threw some punches at us. You know, they made it. They didn't make this game easy, and I thought we just did a good job of not giving into that and kind of keeping our composure and staying with the way that we wanted to play, and just kind of weathering that storm, no pun intended. But that can be hard when you've been on the road for a while. You know, you can lose it mentally. So I think that was a good sign for us.
Definitely. Thank you, Sue.
Thanks, Sue. We have 2 more here. One here from Christos Saltis. Go ahead.
Hello, Sue. Congratulations on the win. As a leader of this team, what is the most impressive part to have teammates like Joel, like Stu, and the whole team? What is the most impressive part, not only on the court, but also off the court this season?
Well, I think on the court, just their talent. I mean, some of the plays that both Stewie and Jewel make are, I mean, you just don't see a lot of players make those plays. You know, whether you're talking about Stewie at her size, her versatility, things are just so easy for out there. It's fun to watch at times. And then you look at Jewel and, you know, her ability to create shots for herself, for others. There's not many players in this league that play that way. So I just think they're both, you know, I mentioned earlier, I think they're two of the best players in their position. And in a lot of ways are revolutionizing the game. You know, little kids are gonna want to play like Stewie and Jewel when they tune into a WNBA game and watch them play. So that kind of takes it to off the court and, you know, in a lot of ways they're changing things. They're going to change the way the game is played.
And that streak on the road, 6 wins in 6 games, is a kind of a statement for your potential as a team.
I don't know. You know, it's just like, you know, I said this the other day. I said it at the start of the season. I came into the season really not worried about wins and losses early on in the season. I felt as if, you know, we obviously had our staples, so to speak, with Stewie, with Jewel, with myself, with other players, Sadie's, Jordan, who are returning. We kind of had those players, Piff, Ezzy, but I knew it was going to be about getting the other players acclimated, starting to develop a chemistry as a team. And, you know, I'm thrilled that we're getting wins while we're doing that. Don't get me wrong. You wouldn't want to, you know, rack up a bunch of losses and be in a hole. But at the same time, I'm not like hype about it. I don't know what it means just yet. It's a good sign, but I still think this team can grow. I still think we haven't hit our ceiling yet. And, you know, we're going to continue to work towards that.
Thank you very much.
No problem.
Okay, that's almost the end of Sue's time, but so we'll try to let Lynn ask one quick question and then we'll be done.
Okay, so I talked to Steph earlier this year or before the end of the season about you guys' commercial. He said it was a great opportunity to help celebrate your career and all the achievements you have done. In response to that, what do you think about that? And then the follow-up is working with the new commercial with Mela that you just released.
Yeah. Yeah, I think obviously, you know, for me, I love when you can represent a company that, you know, sees the value in women, but also can do it in a fun, humorous way. And I thought all the CarMax commercials, you know, basically checked all those boxes. And obviously for Steph to take part, he can, you know, he's helping change the conversation around women in sports by just, you know, partaking in that commercial, you know, having the woman, having the female athlete be, you know, I guess the norm in that scenario, have them be the one that's being spoken about in the ways that I was being spoken about. That changes things. You know, it's small things like that really help change conversations. And to have someone like Steph Curry, you know, be behind it, it means a lot in terms of women's sports and the growth. And yeah, being it with Melo as well is just another example of that. You know, a lot of times people compare male and female athletes, you know, and it's always to paint the female athlete in a negative. So it's just really great that you have, again, companies like Moet, like CarMax, you have athletes like Steph Curry, like Carmelo Anthony, helping change that. It's just, I can't stress enough how important it is because again, we're usually the ones being painted in the negative when the comparison happens. So to be looked at, you know, on even ground or in the case of CarMax being even like propped up in a way, you know, above Steph Curry, who's clearly amazing. You know, it does a lot for the growth.
Thank you.
No problem.
Thanks so much, Sue. We'll have Julian here next.
All right, we are ready with you.
Hey, Joel, thanks for being here. We have a question from Percy Allen from the Seattle Times.
Awesome. Hey, Joe, Loyd, I am just curious about this big three that you comprise with Sue and Stewart. And I just would just like to hear from you, just what is it that make you guys so dynamic, if you will?
I mean, I think, you know, one, we've obviously been playing together for a while, and we're pretty selfless. You know, we're not so caught up on scoring and, you know, making these amazing no-look passes and plays and alley-oops and all these things that we've done in our careers, but we're just trying to play the best basketball that we can together. We understand each other's games pretty well, so we're able to play off each other and kind of just have fun with that.
Hey, and obviously that same question was like put to Sue, and she called yourself and Stewie like pioneers in terms that you're changing the game, the way it's played, you know, how you guys do it. Do you think about things like that, or is it, I mean, I can imagine that you're trying to stay in the moment. It's like, no, but when you hear things like that, how does that hit you?
I mean, any compliment from Sue is always a plus. But you know, I mean, I don't think about that. I don't think Stewie does either. I think we're just trying to play our best basketball. You know, I think for both of us, we don't think we're at our peak, not even close to that. So we're trying to just get better every year and every day to try to, you know, hopefully bring more championships back to this organization.
All right, Loyd. Thank you. Appreciate it.
Yep.
Thanks, Jewel. Next question here from Jeff Brown. Go ahead, Jeff.
Hey, Jewel, does your t-shirt say "Be Your Own Goat"?
Yeah.
Nice. You just want to talk about that or the message that?
Phil Handy.
What did you say, Phil Handy?
Yep.
Okay. And then also, so you guys struggled a little bit in the month of May defensively, but in the month of June, you guys have the #1 defensive rating in the WNBA. What I guess has attributed to all those changes?
Just attention to detail, making sure that we understand what's going on, making a clear plan that, you know, all of us can understand and adapt quickly. I think we put in some couple zones and use that to our ability too. But I think just paying attention to details.
And then with this win, what would you say like you're most proud of or most impressed with?
Today's one?
Yes.
Getting the win. Yeah.
Okay. And then I guess just talk about Kelsey Mitchell for them. Obviously had a very good game as well with the 26 points to lead them. Just talk about, I guess, what makes her so good offensively.
I mean, she doesn't stop. She moves really well without the ball. She makes tough shots. So for us, you know, for her going 9 for 20, that's good defense for us, you know, make her take tough shots, make her earn it. And, you know, that's what we're trying to do on defense for all great players is make them make tough shots.
Awesome. Thank you, Jewel.
Yep.
Thanks so much, Jewel. Thanks, everybody.